They don't put in extra work. They don't go above and beyond to hone their skills, improve their game. This is a club. This is a get-together. This is a player meet and greet. This is a hangout, and the WNBA is just where they choose to hang out. And the NBA and the owners within the league, they're funding this hangout.
The WNBA is facing a full-blown crisis, and it's not due to sagging ratings or empty seats. This time, the league is on edge over a far more serious threat, a rival organization waving an enormous paycheck at their crown jewel, Caitlin Clark.
Can you feel the panic reverberating throughout the WNBA dump? WNBA players think they have leverage. Keyword, think. Now, in their defense, they do have leverage in the short.
After months of hearing their own players speak out about poverty-level wages despite record-breaking revenues, the WNBA is now staring down its worst-case scenario, a competing league that's ready to pay women's basketball stars what they truly deserve.
Now, I don't know what to believe from financials, but they got a lot of money backing them from TNT Sports and a lot of investors. And word has it that they came within $10 million of breaking even their first season. That's damn sight a lot. That's damn sight a lot better than the WNBA's done.
Let's be perfectly clear about what's unfolding. Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 startup that's been turning heads since its January debut, has just completed its first season, and the results are nothing short of staggering.
Will forever change the WNBA.
For sure.
And the way that they do business, the way that they treat their players, any agreement going forward. Unrivaled did things that were unprecedented. And I think it showed players their value, and players in that upcoming CBA are going to ask for everything. And I think that they're going to have to make something work if they want to see the product on TV.
Players in Unrivaled are averaging $220,000 for just 8 weeks of play, nearly triple what the average WNBA player earns over an entire season. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, the phenom credited with reigniting national interest in women's basketball, is pulling in a paltry $78,666 in her second year with the Indiana Fever. The numbers aren't just discouraging, they're borderline offensive.
Essentially stalled for a new collective bargaining agreement in the WNBA. For the first time ever, WNBA players think they have leverage. Keyword, think. Now, in their defense, they do have leverage in the short term. The problem is, if this short-term leverage is used and the 2026 WNBA season is canceled, it could have devastating long-term impacts on pretend basketball.
But here's where things get especially interesting. Unrivaled isn't just tossing cash around recklessly. They have a calculated plan. League President Alex Bazell confirmed that players' salaries are set to rise even further in 2026, following a debut season that blew past every financial projection. The league pulled in over $27 million in revenue in year one, nearly breaking even, a rare feat for any startup, especially in sports. Now, as they gear up for Season 2, they've got their sights locked on the one player who could turn them from a promising upstart into a full-scale challenge to the WNBA's long-standing monopoly, Caitlin Clark.
I'm wondering, will the WNBA get within $10 million this season? I kind of doubt it, considering Caitlin Clark's missed, 13, 14 games or something like that? We saw ticket prices plummeted. We know the ratings have gone down in games that she's not involved with, which has drove the ratings down across the league. So I don't know.
If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe. The frustration among WNBA players has never been more evident. During the 2025 All-Star Game in Indianapolis, every player took the court wearing black t-shirts boldly stating, "Pay us what you owe us." Over 40 players joined a tense meeting with league executives, the highest turnout for such discussions in league history. The players have now opted out of their current collective bargaining agreement, pushing for a dramatic shift, a $45 million salary cap per team and individual player salaries reaching up to $1 million. But here's the twist. These demands come at a time when the WNBA reported a $40 million loss during what was considered its most successful season to date.
In the All-Star Game, wearing "Pay us what you owe us," t-shirts. WNBA players whose salaries are subsidized by the NBA wear t-shirts declaring, "Pay us what you owe us." They must have thought this was a great idea. Oh, folks, we're really going to stick it to the owners. We are really going to stick it to the league. We're going to walk out in solidarity with a t-shirt that says, "Pay us what you owe us," and then they'll have no choice but to pay us what they owe us. Now, my question is, what exactly?
The timing couldn't be more strategic for Unrivaled to make its mark. While WNBA players are fighting for fair compensation from a league that's bleeding money, Unrivaled is quietly demonstrating that women's basketball can be both profitable and equitable. The contrast is striking, and frankly, hard to ignore. Angel Reese earned $50,000 simply for winning the Unrivaled championship, a figure that surpasses 2/3 of her entire WNBA rookie contract. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers is projected to earn around $350,000 in her first year with Unrivaled, more than what a typical 4-year WNBA rookie deal offers in total. Unrivaled isn't just changing the game, it's exposing the flaws in the old one.
Paige Bueckers' 10-week commitment to Unrivaled. 10-week commitment, 10 weeks to Unrivaled. She will make more in that first year than she will in the WNBA, where she's only projected to make $78,000. And I know there's still some haters, some unbelievers mad that women decided to bet on themselves, make this startup that is already putting the foot on the gas, right? Already making the WNBA look bad. I understand that. And they're wondering how they're paying for it. Well, Unrivaled made $1 million in ticket sales this year. Unrivaled made over $1 million in merchandise sales this year. And that's not even counting like...
Now imagine this. Caitlin Clark signs with Unrivaled for the 2026 season. Instantly, the league lands the most marketable player in women's basketball, a proven powerhouse who sells out arenas and breaks streaming records. But what if it doesn't stop there? What if Unrivaled evolves beyond its current 3-on-3 format into a full-fledged 5-on-5 league? The signs are already there. League executives have hinted at expansion, talking about moving into larger venues and adjusting the format in upcoming seasons. Picture this, Unrivaled, 2027, a complete 5-on-5 league featuring Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Bueckers, and nearly every other major star who's tired of being undervalued by the WNBA. They are playing in NBA arenas, broadcasting nationally on TNT, and earning salaries that finally match the value they bring to the sport. Meanwhile, the WNBA is left with the players who couldn't secure a better offer, playing in half-empty arenas just 20 miles away, while their former stars are packing Madison Square Garden and redefining what women's basketball can be.
Alex Brazil, the co-founder of the 3-on-3 Women's Basketball League, composed of exclusively WNBA players, told Front Office Sports that the league has signed nearly 90% of its player pool for the 2026 season. Quote, "We have a few spots left, open the field, and then we're pretty much ready to go."
The WNBA's response to all this? Pure delusion. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert keeps touting transformational change and hypergrowth, yet continues to offer players the same outdated revenue-sharing model that has kept them underpaid for nearly 3 decades. It's essentially a message to the athletes. We know you're worth more, but we're going to keep paying you less for reasons. It's like watching someone try to extinguish a blazing house fire with a garden hose while the fire department waits outside with far superior equipment. But perhaps the most infuriating part is how the WNBA squandered the chance to treat Caitlin Clark like the franchise-saving superstar she truly is. Instead, they stood by as their own players turned her into a target, veterans throwing cheap shots, undermining her popularity, and forcing her to apologize for simply bringing attention to the league. It's one of the most backwards business moves in sports history. Actively sabotaging your biggest star out of jealousy over her success.
I've been telling y'all this. The league doesn't like Unrivaled. I'm tired of going back and forth with people that's no business will want you to work for them and then basically replicate their business and try to make it better and all that type of stuff. No business does that. So it baffles my mind how a lot of y'all sit back and think, oh, the WNBA loves Unrivaled. No, they...
Meanwhile, Unrivaled is rolling out the red carpet for every player who joins their league. They offer luxury apartments, personal chefs, childcare services, state-of-the-art recovery facilities, and even a Sephora-sponsored glam room. They recognize that treating athletes like professionals means far more than just writing a paycheck. It's about building an environment where players can truly thrive both on and off the court. In stark contrast, the WNBA's idea of player care boils down to grudgingly offering charter flights, and only after decades of persistent demands. The financial reality for the WNBA is equally grim. Despite all the rhetoric about growth and rising popularity, the league continues to lose money hand over fist. For 28 years, the NBA has subsidized these losses to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, the WNBA is asking for 50% revenue sharing, despite owning only 42% of their own league. They sold majority control just to keep the lights on, yet they want to negotiate as if they are running a profitable business. Compare that to Unrivaled's business model. They've raised over $35 million from serious investors, secured a $100 million media rights deal with TNT, landed major sponsorships from Samsung, Ally Financial, and Miller Lite, and still managed to pay players more than any women's professional sports league in history. Unrivaled isn't begging the NBA for handouts or making excuses about market rates. They are proving that women's basketball can succeed and thrive as a standalone business.